What's up YouTube? Welcome back to Mystery of Money. My name's Nick, and if you're new to the channel, welcome. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about the SBA EIDL loan working capital requirements and what you can or should spend the money on. And I'm going to give examples of what I use the EIDL loan to spend money on in my business. So a quick recap, the EIDL requirements are basically anything over $25,000 has to be personally guaranteed, has to be secured by a UCC. Anything under $25,000, there's no UCC filing, no security agreement, but you still personally guarantee it. The proceeds of the loan and the grant are to be used for working capital. Now, there's been a lot of questions, I should say, about what working capital is and what the requirements are. Again, this is my own opinion. Please consult your attorney or accountant before making any final decisions, but this is my opinion and what I used it for, and I hope you can use it as an example. So as it states in the SBA loan agreement, the requirements for loan proceeds and receipts and the use of loan proceeds. I'm going to post it right here. This is directly from my loan agreement that I signed. That the use of proceeds, borrower will use all the proceeds of this loan solely as working capital to alleviate economic injury caused by disaster occurring in the month of January 31st, 2021 and continuing thereafter, and for loans of more than $25,000 to pay a uniform commercial code lien filing fee and a third-party UCC handling charge of $100, which will be deducted from the loan amount stated above. So working capital, the formula to figure out what your working capital of your business is your current assets minus your current liabilities, and that gives you working capital. In this example, I'm going to say current assets is cash. Cash that you use to operate your business on a daily basis. Current liabilities can include anything from lines of credit, credit cards, payroll taxes, anything that you owe in a short period of time. That's called current liabilities. An example of that is a line of credit, a short-term facility that's paid off with short-term money. So if you sell lettuce, you borrow money to buy lettuce. When you sell lettuce, you pay the line of credit off and you keep what's left would be your margin. That's a very vague example, but I think it speaks to the point. You don't typically put long-term assets on lines of credit, so you wouldn't buy a vehicle on a line of credit. That's why they're current liabilities. Now, with your current assets, your cash account would be your business checking account or savings account. You would take the money that flows into your business checking account and you would pay that line of credit off. In the example of this, when the situation happened, sales decreased, or I should say the revenue decreased, but your expenses stayed relatively the same. This money is to kind of bridge the gap between those two. I know in my personal business, the revenues from March to April dropped off by 29%. That's a huge amount of money, or I should say it's a huge amount of money for my small business, but 30% drop in revenues is a lot. From April to May, our revenues dropped 21%. So you can see there was a trend. It was getting better, but it was still down. In that time period, I had a lot of expenses that come out. So again, I own a semi-truck business. I have 3 trucks, so triple the expense. What I used, and just to break down how I used it and how I accounted for it, in May, I had my registration fees. So that amounted to $6,578 that I had to pay. So what I did was, I didn't have that cash that came in because of the 29% drop in revenue, so I borrowed the money from my line of credit to pay the registrations. I also had, in June, I had $1,585 in repairs. Now that was also tires and PMs and things like that. So again, I didn't have the amount coming in. So I took that from the line of credit and used the cash to pay for those repairs. Or actually, I was wrong. I used the credit card. I used our business Chase card to pay those repairs and tires. Same with our tolls. We had $1,981 in tolls in April. And then also, April was a bad month. We had our workers' comp premium came due for the previous year, so they did an audit and we ended up owing. So that was $5,674 that we had to pay out in cash, so I had to take from the line of credit. So those total expenses for that month were $14,233. Our revenues for that month were down $15,000. So you can kind of see the revenue, all those expenses tied to the revenue loss. When I received my EIDL loan, and there's the video I did on my time period and when I got it, and the grant and everything else, the way I accounted for it is I have a spreadsheet and I keep track of every expense that I used out of that EIDL loan and grant, the total amount that came to me. It's a very simple spreadsheet. It has the date, the amount, how I paid it, and then how it was repaid. So on the line of credit, what I did was, since I paid the line of credit in April, but I never received the EIDL loan till May, my accounting states that I took the EIDL loan and put it back on the line of credit and paid that down, the equal amount. So technically, I did use it for working capital expenses. I just repaid a line of credit. And I did the same thing with my Chase card. When the EIDL came in, I allocated the $1,981 for tolls and the $1,585 for repairs on that spreadsheet, but then I paid the line of credit off. So I have the receipts for all the stuff that I paid. You know, the tolls come digital format in an invoice. All the repairs, you know, I received those from the drivers. And then the workers' comp premium, I have the canceled check that I wrote. And the registrations, I have the check that I wrote out to the state for those. So I have all of those receipts. You know, I have the receipts, I have the ledger, and I have the bank account statement showing the money coming out and transferring. So I'm covered. If in the unlikelihood I would get an audit, I'm covered with those, with my records. And I have no problem maintaining those. In fact, what I'm gonna do is scan everything into one document and label it EIDL loan and just save it on my computer. And then if for some reason 10 years from now I get an audit, I can just print it off and here you go. The key to this is making sure you keep good records. So that's a broad explanation on what you can use the money for. I just wanted to put it out there because there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of videos and a lot of questions in the videos that ask about what you can use it for. If you have any of those, post them down below. I'll answer them as they come in, or post what you used yours for. You know, give some other people some examples of what you use your working capital for. I'll give a couple more broad examples that you could use it. Fuel for your business vehicle, insurance for your business vehicle, lease payments, like if you lease a space. So I hope that gives you a better idea of what you can use the working capital for, what working capital requirements are. If you have any other questions about the working capital, post them down below in the comments. If you got value from this, I would appreciate a like. If you want to follow along with more financial topics, hit that subscribe button and bell notification to let you know when I post new videos. Thank you and have a great day.